What separates the people who only dream about success from those who actually achieve massive wealth and freedom? Is it luck? Education? Or is there a hidden formula that the world's most successful individuals share, yet rarely talk about? Welcome to the ultimate mastery guide of Think and Grow Rich. For over a century, the principles you are about to discover have shaped empire builders, industrial giants, and self-made millionaires. But this is not just a book about money. It is a profound masterclass in the power of the human mind, psychological strategy, and unwavering focus. Over 20 years of exhaustive research, interviewing legendary figures like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison, author Napoleon Hill uncovered a universal truth. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. In this complete audio series, we are going to break down the 13 core laws of achievement. You will learn how to turn a burning desire into reality, how to build unbreakable self-faith, how to master the art of organized planning, and how to unlock the hidden potential of your subconscious mind. There are no shortcuts here, no get-rich-quick schemes, only proven, timeless laws that govern all true success. If you are ready to shift your mindset, break through your limits, and build the life you truly desire, then listen closely. Your journey to mastery begins right now. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Desire, the starting point of all achievement. Every grand achievement, every piece of wealth, and every monumental success starts from one single, invisible spark, a burning desire. Welcome to Chapter 1 of Think and Grow Rich. In this chapter, we are going to explore the absolute foundation of all personal success. If you have ever wondered why some people rise from nothing to build empires while others stay trapped in a cycle of endless struggle, the answer does not lie in luck, background, or raw talent. It lies entirely in the nature and intensity of their desire. Let us look back at history. Consider the legendary industrialist Edwin C. Barnes. Decades ago, Barnes stepped off a freight train in West Orange, New Jersey. He was practically penniless, his clothes were worn, and he had little more than pocket change. But he carried one thing that money could not buy, an absolute, burning desire to become a business partner with the great inventor Thomas Edison. Most people looking at Barnes would have called him unrealistic. He did not know Edison personally. He had no money for train fare back home if he failed, and he had zero technical background. But Barnes's desire was not a mere wish or a passing hope. It was a fixation. It consumed him. When he walked into Edison's laboratory, he did not ask for a job as an employee. He declared that he had come to go into business with the inventor. Edison later noted that Barnes looked like an ordinary tramp, but there was something in the expression of his face that conveyed a quiet, unstoppable determination. Edison gave him a minor job at a negligible wage, not because Barnes was qualified, but because Edison wanted to test his resolve. Weeks passed, and Barnes did not get closer to his goal. To anyone else, the situation looked hopeless. But Barnes's desire never wavered. Months later, an opportunity arose involving a new office invention known as the Edison dictating machine. The company's salesmen were unenthusiastic. They claimed it could not be sold easily. Barnes saw his moment. He stepped forward and told Edison he could sell it. And sell it he did. Not only did he market the machine successfully, but his performance so deeply impressed Edison that the inventor formed a partnership with him. Barnes achieved immense wealth, not by demanding it, but by staking his entire existence on a single, unwavering obsession. This brings us to the core truth of this chapter. Wishing for riches will never bring them. Desiring wealth with a state of mind that becomes an obsession, and then planning definite ways and means to acquire it, backed by a persistence that does not recognize failure, will bring it. How, then, can you translate a simple thought into a burning, unstoppable desire? There are 6 definite, practical steps you must take to turn your dreams of wealth and achievement into reality. First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not enough to simply say, "I want plenty of money." You must be definite as to the figure. Vague goals produce vague results. Write down the exact number, down to the last digit. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. Nature does not give something for nothing. There is no such thing as a free lunch in the grand economy of success. You must offer value, service, skill, or a product that solves a problem for others. Third, Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Give yourself a timeline. A goal without a deadline is merely a wish drifting in the wind. A timeline forces your mind to organize, strategize, and execute with urgency. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire, and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. Do not wait for ideal conditions. Perfect conditions rarely exist. Start with whatever tools you have right now. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. Sixth, read your written statement aloud twice daily, once right before you go to sleep at night, and once as soon as you wake up in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in possession of the money. Let us analyze why this formula works with such profound psychological force. When you repeat these statements daily, with deep emotional intensity, you bypass the critical barriers of your conscious mind and sink these commands straight into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious operates on autosuggestion, acting on whatever instructions you give it repeatedly. If you feed it fear, scarcity, and doubt, it will manifest limitations. But if you flood it with a burning desire for success, backed by absolute faith, it will begin to orchestrate circumstances, people, and resources to bring your vision to life. Many people make the fatal mistake of quitting the moment they encounter temporary defeat. They confuse temporary setbacks with permanent failure. When Edison's business partner, Barnes, faced obstacles, he did not turn back. He redefined the obstacle as a stepping stone. History is full of individuals who stopped just 3 feet from gold. They gave up right before the breakthrough because their desire was not deep enough to sustain them through the dark valley of resistance. Your desire must be strong enough to withstand criticism, doubt, and hardship. When you commit fully, the universe seems to shift to accommodate your path. Opportunities appear where none existed before, and people who can help you materialize out of nowhere. As you close this chapter, ask yourself honestly, how deep is your desire? Are you merely wishing for success, or are you ready to burn the bridges behind you and commit entirely to your goal? Define your target, write it down, set your timeline, and let the sheer force of your desire pull you forward through every barrier. Your journey has only just begun. Chapter 2. Faith, visualization of and belief in attainment of desire. Desire is the starting point, but desire alone cannot manifest wealth. Between a burning desire and its physical realization lies a bridge, and that bridge is faith. Welcome to Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich. In this chapter, we explore the mental chemistry that turns ordinary thoughts into their physical equivalent. Without faith, desire remains nothing more than a wish, a fleeting daydream that dissolves the moment it faces real-world friction. What is faith, truly? It is not a passive religious concept, nor is it blind optimism. In the science of personal achievement, faith is a state of mind that can be induced, cultivated, and applied deliberately through the principle of autosuggestion. It is the eternal elixir that gives life, power, and action to the impulses of thought. Let us examine how the human mind operates. Your subconscious mind recognizes and acts only upon thoughts that have been mixed with emotion or feeling. Out of all the emotional influences, faith, love, and sex are the most powerful. When these emotions are blended with thought, they act as a magnet, drawing from the vast storehouse of the universe the matching material to transform your mental image into physical reality. Think of it this way. Your mind is a broadcasting and receiving station. It picks up vibrations of thought floating in the ether. If your mind is tuned to frequencies of fear, doubt, and limitation, you will attract failure, poverty, and struggle. But when you consciously tune your mind to the frequency of unwavering faith, you align yourself with infinite intelligence. How can a person actively build and cultivate this kind of faith, especially when they are surrounded by doubt, debt, and hardship? The answer lies in the conscious direction of your thoughts. Every single thought you allow to dwell in your mind tends to reproduce itself in a physical counterpart. If you constantly worry about failing, your mind uses its creative faculty to engineer that exact failure. Conversely, if you force your mind to dwell on success, abundance, and capability, your subconscious sets up a machinery that leads directly to those outcomes. Consider the monumental achievements of history's greatest innovators and business leaders. Men like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Marshall Field did not achieve their fortunes by doubting their abilities. They encountered colossal obstacles, economic panics, and fierce opposition, yet they possessed an unshakable conviction that their goals were achievable. Faith can be acquired through repetition. Just as physical muscles grow stronger through regular exercise, the muscle of faith is developed by repeatedly feeding positive, empowering statements to your subconscious mind. This is why the sixth step from our previous chapter, reading your written statement of desire twice daily, is so critical. When you repeat your goals with absolute conviction, your subconscious mind gradually accepts them as reality. It stops seeing them as distant fantasies and starts treating them as direct instructions. Many people struggle with faith because they let fear dictate their lives. Fear is nothing more than a state of mind, and because it is a state of mind, it can be controlled and directed. The 6 basic fears that plague humanity, poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death, act as heavy anchors holding people back from their true potential. To build true faith, you must first identify these fears, drag them out into the light of reason, and refuse to let them govern your decisions. When you develop supreme faith, temporary defeat loses its power over you. A setback is no longer a sign that you should quit. It is merely evidence that your plan needs adjustment. A person with real faith looks at a collapsed plan not as the end of the road, but as an opportunity to build a better, wiser strategy. As you progress through your journey, remember that faith is the head chemist of your mind. When it is mixed with desire, it transforms your thoughts into an irresistible force. Eliminate doubt, refuse to entertain thoughts of failure, and anchor your mind in the absolute certainty of your success. Step forward with confidence, because what your mind can visualize, your faith can achieve. Chapter 3, Autosuggestion, the medium for influencing the subconscious mind. Welcome to Chapter 3 of Think and Grow Rich. We have explored the power of a burning desire and the necessity of unwavering faith. Now, we arrive at the exact mechanism that connects your conscious thoughts to the limitless creative power of your subconscious mind, autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a term which applies to all suggestions and all self-administered stimuli that reach one's mind through the 5 senses. In simpler terms, it is the agency of self-control, the communication link between that part of the mind where conscious thought takes place and that which serves as the seat of action for the subconscious mind. No thought, whether it be positive or negative, can enter your subconscious mind without the aid of the principle of autosuggestion. Your subconscious mind acts like a fertile garden. If you plant the seeds of valuable, empowering thoughts, it will yield a harvest of success and abundance. But if you leave the garden unattended or allow the weeds of fear, doubt, and negative media to drift in, the subconscious will grow those unwanted weeds just as willingly. You do not sit passively in this process. You are either the conscious gardener of your mind, or you are its victim. Let us look closely at how you can take deliberate control of this machinery. Your subconscious mind does not sleep, nor does it rest. Day and night, it processes the impressions and thoughts that you feed it. If you wish to master autosuggestion and use it to propel yourself toward your financial and personal goals, you must follow a disciplined daily ritual. First, go into some quiet spot where you will not be disturbed or interrupted. Close your eyes and repeat the written statement of your major purpose or financial goal out loud. As you speak these words, you must hear them, feel them, and believe them. Do not treat this as a mechanical recitation. Inject your voice with deep emotional intensity, passion, and conviction. Second, repeat this routine every single night before you sleep and every morning as soon as you wake up. During these transitional states, just as you are drifting off to sleep and right when you open your eyes, your conscious guard is lowered and your subconscious mind is wide open to suggestions. Whatever thoughts dominate your mind during these moments sink deep into the subconscious and become part of your mental blueprint. Third, place your written statement where you can see it day and night. Read it before you go to sleep and read it upon rising until it becomes a fixed part of your mental habit. As you practice this consistently, something remarkable happens. Your mind begins to develop an instinctive resistance against negative influences. When someone tells you that your goals are impossible, or when economic uncertainty whispers doubt into your ear, your subconscious, fortified by daily autosuggestion, instantly rejects the negativity. Remember, you are the master of your destiny because you are the master of your thoughts. By deliberately feeding your mind with positive commands, you train your subconscious to work for you 24 hours a day, orchestrating people, ideas, and circumstances to turn your vision into physical reality. Put autosuggestion to work today and watch how swiftly your inner world transforms your outer life. Chapter 4. Specialized Knowledge, Personal Experiences, or Observations. Welcome to Chapter 4 of Think and Grow Rich. Up to this point, we have explored the power of desire, faith, and autosuggestion. But desire and faith alone are not enough if they are not backed by practical, organized action. And that action requires knowledge. Not just any knowledge, specifically specialized knowledge. There is a common, dangerous myth that knowledge is power. You have likely heard this phrase repeated throughout your life. But in reality, knowledge is only potential power. It becomes actual power only when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed toward a specific, well-defined goal. Look around you. The world is full of people who spent decades acquiring general education, university degrees, and a broad understanding of various subjects, yet they struggle financially. Why? Because general knowledge, no matter how vast or varied, is of very little use in the accumulation of money. If you want to acquire wealth, your knowledge must be organized, intelligent, and specifically focused on the exact product, service, or profession through which you intend to make your living. Let us examine how true wealth builders approach knowledge. Henry Ford left school at a very young age and possessed very little formal education. During a famous lawsuit, a lawyer tried to humiliate Ford by calling him an ignorant pacifist and asking him a series of basic trivia questions to prove his lack of schooling. Ford grew tired of the interrogation, leaned forward, and gave a legendary reply. He pointed out that on his desk, he had a row of electric push buttons, and by pressing the right button, he could summon men who possessed specialized knowledge to answer any question he needed to run his massive industrial empire. Ford did not need to clutter his own brain with general trivia. His power lay in knowing how to access and apply specialized knowledge when required. Knowledge comes from two primary sources. First, infinite intelligence, which can be accessed through imagination and creative inspiration. Second, accumulated experience, which includes libraries, educational institutions, public training programs, and the collective wisdom of specialists. However, accumulating specialized knowledge is only the first step. You must know how to organize and use it effectively. If your knowledge sits dormant in notebooks or memory without being put to practical use, it holds zero value. Furthermore, you must never stop acquiring knowledge. The most successful people in the world are perpetual students. Industries change, technology evolves, and economic landscapes shift overnight. If you rely solely on what you learned 5 or 10 years ago, you will quickly become obsolete. You must cultivate the habit of continuous, lifelong learning within your chosen field. How can you acquire the specialized knowledge you need if you lack formal training or financial resources? Today, information is more accessible than at any point in human history. Through books, specialized mentorship, online masterclasses, and practical hands-on experience, you can master virtually any skill required to reach your goals. The key is to be intentional. Do not study everything at random. Identify the exact gap in your current skill set, find the best sources of knowledge available, and master that specific domain. As you move forward, evaluate your current position. Are you relying on general ideas, or do you possess deep, specialized mastery in what you do? Combine your burning desire and unwavering faith with razor-sharp, specialized knowledge, and you will build an unstoppable foundation for enduring success. Chapter 5. Imagination, the Workshop of the Mind. Welcome to Chapter 5 of Think and Grow Rich. We have laid the groundwork through desire, faith, autosuggestion, and specialized knowledge. Now, we enter the engine room of human achievement, imagination. The imagination is literally the workshop in which all plans created by man are shaped and brought to life. It has been said that man can create anything which he can imagine. Through this extraordinary faculty, every great invention, every towering skyscraper, every business empire, and every masterpiece of art was first conceived in the invisible realm of the mind before it ever took physical form. Napoleon Hill observed that imagination functions in two distinct ways: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. First, let us examine synthetic imagination. Through this faculty, an individual arranges old concepts, ideas, or plans into new combinations. Notice that the synthetic imagination does not create anything new out of nothing. It simply reworks existing materials, experiences, and knowledge into fresh configurations. Most inventions, commercial strategies, and everyday problem-solving methods rely heavily on the synthetic imagination. Second, and far more powerful, is creative imagination. Through the faculty of creative imagination, the finite mind of human beings has direct communication with infinite intelligence. It is through this channel that hunches, inspirations, and flashes of genius are received. The creative imagination works automatically, usually when the mind is operating under the stimulus of intense emotional drives, such as a burning desire. When your mind is fully focused and vibrating at a high frequency, the creative imagination opens the door to insights that go far beyond your past experiences or accumulated knowledge. Consider the history of massive industrial fortunes. People like Edwin C. Barnes, Henry Ford, and Andrew Carnegie did not stumble into wealth by accident. They used their imaginations to visualize outcomes that did not yet exist in physical reality. When Thomas Edison attempted to invent the incandescent electric lamp, he faced thousands of failures. Conventional minds told him it was impossible, but Edison's imagination saw the light glowing in glass long before a single working bulb had ever been built. He used his imagination to sustain his faith through 10,000 dead ends. Ideas are the starting points of all fortunes, and ideas are products of the imagination. Unfortunately, many people let their imaginative faculty rust from disuse. They go through life following rigid routines, accepting their environment as fixed and unchangeable, and refusing to stretch their minds beyond what is immediately visible. If you want to build wealth and achieve mastery, you must actively exercise your imagination daily. Treat your mind like a canvas. Paint clear, vivid mental pictures of the life you want to live, the business you want to build, and the person you want to become. Do not let practical limitations or current financial struggles clip the wings of your vision. Once your imagination generates a brilliant idea or a strategic plan, you must back it up with the principles we have already covered: a burning desire, absolute faith, and organized planning. An idea is merely an abstraction until it is seized, nurtured, and driven forward by action. Awaken the workshop of your mind. Let your imagination soar past your present circumstances. Visualize your ultimate goals with absolute clarity, and prepare to translate those mental blueprints into permanent physical reality. Chapter 6. Organized Planning. The Crystallization of Desire into Action. Welcome to Chapter 6 of Think and Grow Rich. We have envisioned our goals through imagination, fueled them with specialized knowledge, and anchored them in faith and desire. Now, we must translate those abstract mental pictures into concrete, actionable steps. Welcome to the chapter on organized planning. An idea is merely an intangible spark until it is bound to a practical, step-by-step strategy. Many people fail to achieve financial success not because they lack ambition or imagination, but because they drift through life without a definite plan. They wait for things to happen rather than making things happen. If your plans fail, and at some point, temporary setbacks are guaranteed, do not view it as a permanent defeat. View it as a signal that your plan needs adjustment. When a plan fails, replace it with a new one. If that new plan fails, replace it again. Keep modifying your strategy until you find a sequence that works. The only true failure is the permanent surrender that comes from refusing to try another way. To build a foolproof, effective plan, you must follow specific guidelines. First, ally yourself with a group of people. No single individual possesses enough experience, specialized knowledge, or physical energy to guarantee lifelong success without the cooperation of others. Later, we will explore the mastermind principle in depth, but right now, Recognize that your plan must involve a team of reliable, competent people whose skills complement your own. Second, determine what advantages you can offer. Before you demand compensation, partnership, or investment, establish clearly what you intend to give in return. Value must always precede reward. Third, maintain harmonious collaboration. Temporary disagreements happen in any group, but permanent friction destroys progress. Your plan must include rules for maintaining cooperation, mutual respect, and shared vision among your allies. Fourth, be willing to lead and take responsibility. A good leader takes responsibility for the shortcomings of their team and shares the credit for their collective victories. If your plan involves leading others, you must be decisive, fair, and utterly reliable. Remember the famous axiom, plan your work and work your plan. Do not leave your future to chance, luck, or erratic impulses. Sit down with a blank sheet of paper, outline your steps, anticipate potential obstacles, and build a strategy so robust that even temporary defeat cannot break it. With a clear, organized plan in hand, your journey from imagination to reality becomes an unstoppable reality. Chapter 7. Decision, the Mastery of Procrastination. Welcome to Chapter 7 of Think and Grow Rich. We have mapped out our strategies through organized planning, but a brilliant plan is completely useless unless it is set into motion. That vital spark of motion is decision. An analysis of hundreds of individuals who had accumulated fortunes revealed a startling common denominator. Every single one of them had the habit of reaching decisions promptly and changing those decisions slowly, if at all. Conversely, people who fail to accumulate wealth, without a single exception, habitually reach decisions, if they reach them at all, very slowly, and change them with maximum speed and frequency. Indecision is a destructive habit that usually begins in youth. It crystallizes as we grow older, turning into a paralyzing fear of action. Procrastination, the exact opposite of decision, is a common enemy that every person must conquer. Consider the profound courage required by the signers of the Declaration of Independence. When John Hancock and his contemporaries signed that historic document, they did not just sign a piece of paper, they signed their own death warrants if the revolution failed. Yet, their prompt, unyielding decision to fight for freedom forged a brand new nation. They burned their bridges behind them, leaving no room for retreat. When you make a real, definitive decision, you cut off all alternative escape routes. You commit your entire focus, energy, and resources to a single outcome. People who lack the capacity for quick decision-making are easily influenced by the opinions of others. They let neighbors, relatives, and casual acquaintances dictate their choices. True success belongs to those who know what they want and are ready to stand firm in their choices. When you make up your mind, let your conviction be absolute. Do not second-guess your vision at the first sign of doubt. Decide quickly, act boldly, and let the sheer power of your decision drive you past every obstacle. Chapter 8. Persistence, the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Welcome to Chapter 8 of Think and Grow Rich. We have explored desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, and prompt decision-making. Now, we arrive at the vital element that tests the true strength of your character, persistence. Persistence is an essential factor in the procedure of transforming desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. When willpower and desire are properly combined, they make an irresistible pair. Many people are good starters, but poor finishers. The moment they encounter their first major obstacle, critical opposition, or temporary defeat, they throw up their hands and quit. They confuse a temporary setback with permanent failure. History is filled with tragic stories of individuals who abandoned their efforts just 3 feet from gold, unaware that a breakthrough was waiting right around the next corner. Why do some people push through hardship while others surrender? The answer lies in the definiteness of purpose. When your goal is crystal clear and your desire is burning with absolute intensity, minor setbacks cannot faze you. You view resistance not as a wall blocking your path, but as a test of your resolve. Persistence is a state of mind, and like any mental habit, it can be cultivated. If you wish to build unbreakable persistence, you must practice specific disciplines. First, a definite purpose backed by a burning desire. Knowing exactly what you want makes it much easier to keep moving forward when things get difficult. Second, a definite plan, expressed in continuous action. Working your plan daily builds momentum and crowds out doubt. Third, a mind closed tight against all negative and discouraging influences. This includes negative remarks from relatives, friends, or acquaintances who try to project their own fears onto you. Fourth, a friendly alliance with one or more persons. People who encourage you to follow through with your plan and stay focused on your goals. There is no substitute for persistence. It acts as an armor against failure. No matter how many times you stumble or how slow your progress may seem, as long as you refuse to stop, you cannot be permanently defeated. Embrace every challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger. Keep your eyes fixed on your destination, and let your persistence carry you across the finish line. Chapter 9. Power of the Mastermind, the Driving Force. Welcome to Chapter 9 of Think and Grow Rich. We have covered the individual mental tools required for success, desire, faith, persistence, and planning. Now, we turn our attention outward to a principle of collective synergy, the power of the mastermind. Power is essential for the accumulation of money, as well as for retaining it once it has been gathered. Power may be defined as organized effort sufficient to enable an individual to transmute desire into its monetary equivalent. To put it simply, power is accumulated energy directed through systematic, organized channels. Napoleon Hill defined the mastermind principle as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between two or more people for the attainment of a definite purpose. No individual can achieve enduring success or massive wealth entirely on their own. The human brain is a broadcasting and receiving station for thought vibrations, and when two or more minds are coordinated in a spirit of absolute harmony, a third, invisible force is created, what can be described as a psychic powerhouse, the mastermind. Consider the greatest industrial and financial empires in history. Men like Andrew Carnegie did not build their fortunes in isolation. Carnegie attributed his entire multi-million-dollar steel empire to his mastermind group, a hand-picked collective of brilliant specialists, engineers, and organizers who pooled their knowledge, resources, and creative energy. Working together, their combined output far exceeded what any of them could have accomplished individually. There are two distinct characteristics of the mastermind principle: the economic advantage and the psychic advantage. The economic advantage is obvious. Pooling financial resources, specialized knowledge, and physical effort multiplies productivity. The psychic advantage is even more profound. When minds align in harmonious cooperation, they elevate each other's vibrational frequency, unlocking inspirations, insights, and mental clarity that would never emerge in solitude. If you wish to harness this principle, you must select your associates with extreme care. Surround yourself with people who possess integrity, ambition, and a shared dedication to growth. Avoid negative critics, cynics, and energy drainers who drag your vision downward. Remember, when you combine your unique talents with the minds of capable, driven allies, you cease to walk the path of success alone. You unlock a compounding force that accelerates every plan, shatters every obstacle, and drives you swiftly toward your ultimate goals. Chapter 10. The Mystery of Sex Transmutation, the Energy of Transformation. Welcome to Chapter 10 of Think and Grow Rich. We have explored individual drive and collective power through the mastermind. Now, we arrive at one of the most profound and misunderstood principles in the entire science of personal achievement, the mystery of sex transmutation. To understand this chapter correctly, we must look beyond superficial definitions. Sex transmutation is, simply translated, the switching of the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other nature. It is the redirection of creative, vital life energy away from purely physical indulgence and toward higher ambitions, creative pursuits, financial success, and artistic mastery. Sex desire is the most powerful of all human emotional stimuli. When driven by this immense emotional force, human beings develop a keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative capacity that they do not possess at any other time. If this foundational drive is suppressed or wasted through misdirection, its power is lost. But when it is consciously harnessed and transmuted into other forms of expression, it becomes the driving engine behind every great leader, inventor, writer, and industrialist. History provides overwhelming evidence of this truth. An analysis of hundreds of the world's most capable, wealthy, and successful men and women revealed that nearly all of them achieved their greatest milestones during the mature years of their lives, typically after age 40. Why? Because it is usually only after reaching this stage of life that individuals learn how to harness, control, and transmute their emotional and sexual energy instead of squandering it on impulsive, short-term gratifications. Consider the emotional chemistry of the mind. The human brain operates like a high-powered chemical laboratory. The emotions of desire, faith, love, and sex are among the most potent elements in this lab. When sex energy is combined with a definite, burning purpose, it elevates the entire vibration of thought. It opens direct channels to the creative imagination, allowing brilliant ideas, business strategies, and artistic insights to flow effortlessly into the conscious mind. Unfortunately, most people never learn to master this energy. They let their most powerful biological and emotional drive control them, rather than taking conscious command of it. They allow external temptations, lack of self-discipline, and undisciplined habits to drain the very fuel that could be used to build an empire. If you want to unlock your highest creative potential, you must learn the art of transmutation. Take the intense passion, enthusiasm, and drive that naturally reside within you, and consciously channel them into your daily work, your business plans, your writing, or your artistic projects. When you feel a surge of restless energy, do not let it scatter or dissipate. Redirect it with laser-like focus toward your major definitive goal. By mastering the mystery of sex transmutation, you harness the single most potent creative force in nature. Combine it with your burning desire, your specialized knowledge, and your organized plans, and you will possess an unstoppable reservoir of personal power. Chapter 11. The Subconscious Mind, the Connecting Link. Welcome to Chapter 11 of Think and Grow Rich. We have explored physical drive, mental focus, and collective energy. Now, we penetrate the deepest layer of human psychology, the subconscious mind, the vital connecting link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. The subconscious mind consists of a field of consciousness in which every impulse of thought that reaches the objective mind through any of the five senses is classified and recorded. You can neither stop your subconscious from recording these impressions nor prevent it from working day and night, regardless of whether you are awake or asleep. Your subconscious mind acts like a vast filing cabinet and an independent command center. It receives whatever instructions you give it, whether those instructions are driven by conscious design or careless accident. If you fill your waking hours with thoughts of fear, lack, failure, and worry, your subconscious quietly accepts those patterns as your true desires and begins orchestrating circumstances to manifest them. Conversely, when you consciously plant seeds of abundance, faith, courage, and purpose, your subconscious absorbs those commands and deploys its immense creative machinery to bring them into physical reality. How do you communicate effectively with your subconscious mind? As we established in earlier principles, the subconscious does not respond to cold, logical reasoning, or casual wishes. It responds exclusively to emotion-infused thoughts. A thought mixed with a powerful emotion, such as a burning desire, absolute faith, or deep love, carries a high vibrational frequency that penetrates the subconscious barrier. This is why the daily ritual of autosuggestion is so transformative. When you take your written statement of purpose, step into a quiet space, and repeat it aloud with deep feeling and absolute conviction, you are directly programming your inner computer. Over time, your subconscious accepts these messages as absolute truth. It alters your habits, sharpens your intuition, and tunes your awareness to notice opportunities, resources, and people that can help you achieve your goals. Furthermore, the subconscious mind serves as your direct pipeline to infinite intelligence. Whenever you face a complex problem that your conscious mind cannot solve, you can pass the challenge over to your subconscious right before you go to sleep. By giving it a clear, definite instruction, your subconscious will continue processing the puzzle throughout the night, often presenting you with a sudden flash of insight, a brilliant idea, or a complete solution the moment you wake up. You do not need to understand all the hidden mysteries of how the subconscious mind operates to use it effectively. You only need to respect its laws and apply them with discipline. Stop feeding your mind with doubt, fear, and negativity. Take conscious control of the inputs, flood your inner thoughts with your ultimate goals, and let the silent, tireless power of your subconscious mind bridge the gap between imagination and reality. Chapter 12. The Brain, a Broadcasting and Receiving Station for Thought. Welcome to Chapter 12 of Think and Grow Rich. We have explored the depths of the subconscious mind and its connection to universal forces. Now, we examine the physical instrument through which all these mental phenomena operate, the brain, acting as a broadcasting and receiving station for thought. Understand this extraordinary scientific reality. The human brain can be compared to a broadcasting and receiving station. It generates thoughts, vibrates at specific frequencies, and picks up similar vibrations from the surrounding ether. Just as a radio tuner picks up invisible sound waves traveling through the air and translates them into clear music or speech, your mind is constantly tuning into frequencies generated by other minds, environmental influences, and infinite intelligence. When your brain is stimulated by a high emotion, such as a burning desire, intense faith, love, or even fear, its vibrational rate increases dramatically. In this heightened state, your mind operates at a much higher capacity. It becomes far more receptive to ideas, hunches, and inspirations that float invisibly through the mental atmosphere. Napoleon Hill noted that the creative imagination is the receiving set of your brain, which picks up thoughts released by other brains around you. When you work closely with a mastermind group in a spirit of complete harmony, your brains synchronize. They form a collective broadcasting and receiving unit that amplifies your mental power far beyond what any single brain could achieve in isolation. Consider how innovators and geniuses make breakthrough discoveries. They do not manufacture every idea entirely from scratch out of thin air. Instead, through intense concentration, a burning purpose, and a quiet, receptive mind, they tune their brain's receiving station to catch thoughts that already exist in the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. This explains why your environment, your associates, and the daily inputs you consume matter so deeply. If you surround yourself with negative, pessimistic, and small-minded people, your brain's receiver naturally tunes into those low frequencies, flooding your consciousness with doubt and limitation. But when you deliberately shield your mind from negativity and focus your attention on empowering goals, high ideals, and strategic plans, your brain tunes into a frequency of abundance and success. You are the operator of your mental radio station. You have complete control over the dial. You can choose to tune into static, fear, and failure, or you can adjust your frequency to receive clarity, inspiration, and unshakable confidence. Guard your mental airwaves. Keep your receiver clean, and let your brain broadcast the powerful, focused frequency of your ultimate success. Chapter 13. The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Temple of Wisdom. Welcome to the final chapter of Think and Grow Rich. The Sixth Sense, the Door to the Temple of Wisdom. Throughout this journey, we have unlocked the mechanics of desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, planning, decision, persistence, the mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, and the human brain as a broadcasting station. Now, we arrive at the culmination of all these laws, the mysterious faculty known as the sixth sense. The sixth sense can be described as that portion of the subconscious mind which has been referred to as the creative imagination. It has also been called the receiving set through which ideas, flashes of genius, and sudden inspirations are communicated to the human mind. Through this faculty, you will be warned of impending dangers in time to avoid them, and notified of opportunities in time to embrace them. The sixth sense is not something that can be mastered overnight. It comes to us only through the absolute mastery of the preceding principles. You cannot reach the temple of wisdom until you have cleared away the clutter of fear, doubt, greed, and indifference. As you cultivate a burning desire, deepen your faith, and purify your mental habits, your mind naturally tunes into a higher plane of intelligence. Great leaders, inventors, and philosophers throughout history have all relied upon this intuitive faculty. They learned to quiet their conscious minds, step back from analytical panic, and listen to the silent voice of intuition. When you master the sixth sense, you no longer rely solely on trial and error. You are guided by a profound, inner certainty that points you directly toward your goals. As you close this masterclass on Think and Grow Rich, remember that wealth, success, and personal mastery are not matters of random luck. They are the inevitable results of applying immutable mental laws. Take everything you have learned, put it into daily practice, trust your inner vision, and step forward into a future of limitless abundance. Your true journey of achievement begins now. You have now walked through the 13 foundational pillars of Think and Grow Rich, from the spark of a burning desire and the unshakable foundation of faith, all the way to the silent, intuitive power of the sixth sense. Remember, listening to these principles once is simply not enough to transform your life. True mastery requires repetition, daily discipline, and immediate action. Take your written goals, read them every morning and every night. Guard your mental broadcasting station from negativity, and let the tireless machinery of your subconscious mind go to work for you. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey of personal transformation. If this audio masterclass has inspired you to shift your mindset and take control of your destiny, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this knowledge with those ready to elevate their lives. Your future is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. Go out there, put these laws into action, and build the life you deserve. Until next time, stay focused, stay driven, and keep growing.